Moving, buddy.
Yeah. What a great day so far. And it's only noon. We probably should grab some lunch after this.
Probably should. Yeah, we're gonna have a big push this afternoon. I think
It's going to get
busy. I'm
really
excited.
busy. Yes, for sure. All right. We've got Joaquin with us next. So Joaquin, if you would, real brief introduction. Just give us your name, who you're with, and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Joaquin Flores. I'm with Vaughn Construction, BDC manager in the central portion of Texas. So everything from Austin down to the Valley and a little bit of College Station.
So VDC manager, talk about your job responsibilities, and what you love about it.
Well, first, give me a quick. What's Vaughn Construction? What's their deal? What do you specialize in, or what's your main focus?
Yeah, so for Vaughn Construction, kind of local to Texas, we're spread all over the state. Office in pretty much every major city. We mainly focus in higher education, healthcare, a couple of government projects.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's kind of our niche state.
Nice. And talk about your role at Vaughn.
Yeah, so started, straight into the VDC right out of college. Do got a background in construction from residential framing. Parents have a company back home in Houston, so that's kind of how I got my start. Mm-hmm. Realized that the heating community in Houston was not for me, so decided to go to school, try being an architect. Realized that really wasn't for me either, and so I kind of married both with VDC.
Nice.
Within utilizing what I learned in college, kind of growing up in the construction field with the tech and trying to marrying the both. So worked out real well. Right now, as a VDC manager, I got a couple of guys working with me that we're working together as a team, leading not only the coordination of the BIM models on different projects throughout the state, but also trying to interact with the whole project team, starting from our surveyors, field engineers, all the way to superintendents, project managers, everybody, on letting them know, hey, we have these tools. This is another tool in our toolbox that we've already paid for. We already have. Let us show you the benefit that this provides to you. And often I'll tell folks coming up, we'll go and do guest lectures at universities, and I'll tell them, hey, what do y'all think of folks at the company? Do you think it's the younger population of coworkers that are more interested in the tech, or do you think it's the older population? Almost everybody in the classrooms, they raise their hand. They're like, oh, it has to be like all the new 20-year-olds. I'm like, no, wrong. It's all the older guys.
So interesting.
Because
so interesting.
I feel the older population that we have within the company realize the value.
Yeah.
They're like, this used to take me a week to do. You're now telling me I could do this in a couple of hours.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they be interested?
Right.
If it saves them time and effort, work smarter, not harder. Right.
Most definitely.
I've never heard that.
No, I just made that up.
You just made that up.
I'm gonna coin that one. Trademark it. So for our listeners that don't know what VDC stands for, talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. So VDC, at first it was called BIM, Building Information Modeling. We switched it over to VDC for virtual design construction. We want to let everybody know, not within just our company, but overall, is that we're not just dealing with models. There's much more to it. You got drones, for example. We're here at Drone Deploy Conference Horizons. We got laser scanning. We integrate and work really well with our field engineering team, and I think that's where we provide the most value, because at the end of the day, it's great that we're working with these models on these computers, but we got to work with the guys who, the boots on the ground, who are actually getting stuff done out there in the field. So working with them, providing the models, how to integrate what we've done already, what we spent, months of work, integration with the subcontractors, and being able to integrate that information with our, robotic total stations, our tablets, getting that laid out on the field instead of them trying to figure it out from a couple of contract documents.
Yeah, we just had Mike Wynn on, the CEO of Drone Deploy. He was talking about exactly what you just mentioned. There's all these different ways for us to collect data, right? It could be a terrestrial scanner. It can be with a drone, of course. You could even use your phone to collect LiDAR data. And he used the term unified reality capture, which I love that, because it's exactly what you're talking about. You're taking all these different technologies and bringing them together.
Correct.
Yeah.
So whether it be through drones, cameras, laser scanners, at the end of the day, we have an overload of data now. And I think one of the folks was talking about it in our previous little conference was we have so much data, but we're being starved for the actual analytics of it, how to actually process, how to use it. And again, it's almost worthless if it doesn't get down to the boots on the ground.
Right. Yeah.
When you say boots on the ground, talk about the value that those folks are providing.
Yeah, most definitely. So We got a couple of other guys, older land surveyors, some field engineers, and you tell, I mean, you don't need this robotic total station. You just need a tape, plumb bob, and you're good to go. Chain.
I can figure this out on the hood of the truck,
right?
Yeah, and I was like, most definitely, you could definitely do it that way, but
could.
How long is it going to take you? We are on a 50-acre site. Good luck.
Yeah, right.
Versus, hey, we got a robotic total station. We got a crew out here. They've been working. We've integrated pretty well with them. Being able to go ahead and I'll tell them it's another tool. It's not something to replace. The person itself. It's not going to take away jobs. It's going to help and improve, save money. It's going to save time, and I mean that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and like there's a safety component as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, to where especially there in Texas, summers are brutal. To where you don't want to have folks out there, peak heat, where hey, we could go in early before sun gets to its peak, and we can knock most of this work out before we get to those peak heats. And I mean, shoot, this past summer we were reaching up to 115 degrees
with humidity.
With humidity.
Wow,
Like here in Arizona,
wild.
it's like 85, 90, and it feels great in the shade.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, talk a little bit about the client side and how you show value to the clients, adding the virtual design.
Yeah, most definitely. Clients have been blown away. They're still a little bit overwhelmed with how much technology we've been kind of giving them. Ended up working with not only drone deploy but with headsets. We'll have our virtual headsets that we'll bring in.
Oh, nice.
We were working.
So like the Trimble, is that the one you're talking about?
So there's the
VR
Trimble,
headset?
and then we've been working with MetaQuest, so the Oculus 3, Quest 3.
Yep.
And I'm being able to let people know the actual size of the site. You could always look it on the map. You got drone deploy up, and they don't realize the actual the space that they're in. But you put on that headset and you start walking around, and you're like, holy crap, this is something completely different. So we had a team of we had the owner. We had some, I don't know if I could talk about specific project, but typical design team.
Yep.
And so pretty much we put on the headsets, and they were just blown away, being able to actually understand that the space they're in, not only realizing, because they were saying, well, this space is kind of small. We don't know if it's going to work out, and place on the headsets, and they were like, oh no, this is huge.
They can actually see it.
Yep. And so we were talking about budgets and how much money it's going to take to be able to bring in certain materials and make this project happen. They're like, we now understand why we're talking the numbers that we're talking. They understand the space a whole lot better, and way better than just showing them on a PDF. The architect did a wonderful job of creating these renderings to show the space, but at the end of the day, being able to walk the space themselves with that headset is
such a
whole
great
nother
tool.
world.
It's incredible, and it's only going to get better.
Yep.
Right. So you're like the services that you're providing. Are you providing them mainly for your exterior clients or your inside clients? You know what I mean?
You're gonna have to touch a little bit on that.
Yeah. So when you're doing these scans and the drones and you're making the models and everything,
Is it mostly for the field engineers or for the clients to see at the end?
or both? Yeah, it might be both.
Yeah, for both.
Yeah.
So the great thing is, whether it be the clients want to see the progress, and then at the end of the day, we hand over the keys to the client. So a lot of the work that we do is with repeat clients. And so, and a lot of the work that we do is for example, renovations coming up, we do a lot of hospital work. There's a lot of hospitals to where they might not have the budget to go ahead and build out the whole thing, but it'll be a show space, and we'll go ahead and come back and do the build out later on. And so being able to have tools like Open Space, the Ground app, being able to see where certain things are, for example, mechanical equipment, plumbing inside walls, we can go ahead and open up these tools and say, hey, this is where our connection points. This is where when we're going to start demo, this is where, these are the areas that we need to attack, and we have that kind of historical reference. And so I bring that up as saying, hey, it's also a great as-built, not only as a progress tracking tool to see the progress, but at the end of the day, even if we don't do the renovation in the future, the owners will say, hey, this is great. This is better than doing a red line drawing to where, you get your contract document, you get your red Sharpie, and you're like, hey, this duct is no longer here. It's here. These piping.
but it exists only on that one drawing
Yep.
or that one PDF. And we're big proponents on
Yep.
the digital
definitely.
as built we just want to integrate it in all the specs, and we want that to happen now.
Yeah, and I love it, especially for the civil side. So right now we started pushing our field engineers to capture not only just the points, but also kind of teaching them how to use Civil 3D, how to develop the 3D models, the profiles
Sure.
for all the piping. That way, not even after the project is done, but let's say we're working on a large site and has multiple phases where we started with one phase and we're going to come back later on in the year. Well, who's to say that we even have the same crew out there? Maybe
Exactly.
people change, life happens,
Sure.
and to where hey, we could go back and pull up the model and hey, this is where we installed all this. We know it's here. We know it's this location at this elevation. We know we can hard dig to 2-3 feet, and then afterwards we got a soft dig.
Yep. It's a great tool.
Love it. Or just
No doubt about
throw
it.
on those glasses, throw on those goggles, and
Yeah.
you can just see it right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously we're here at the Drone Deploy Horizons conference. Talk about your connection to Drone Deploy, what that relationship is, and how you're utilizing Drone Deploy in your workflow.
Yeah, most definitely. So we got into drones. Well, at least myself, I got into drones just right before the pandemic. So the pandemic actually gave me a great time to actually kind of toy around and experience and kind of figure out what it all could provide value to us. And so we really got it heavy, at least myself in the Central Texas region. We're working on these large, 50 plus acre sites, being able to have the overlays of the potential and future plans. And we got, changes with ASIs, PRs are coming up. And so being able to do the overlap with the aerial captures that we're doing provides great value, great feedback. I could go to the teams and say, hey, this is the work that we've already done. This ASI is going to change the work, these particular areas. This is where we could potentially stop focusing because we know it's going to change. Also for logistics planning is great. We were going to have, quick little story, we had fiber coming up to the site. AT&T was going to provide a box, and they needed some information of, hey, we need a location, longitude and latitude. We work in northern and eastings, and the guys were like, well, how we do the conversion? And I was like, guys, don't worry. Like, you go to Drone Deploy, open up the map, go to point, and it gives you all the data real quick.
It's awesome.
That's cool.
Yep, really good stuff. Before we let you get out of here, Joaquin, anything else you want to get out there?
Hey, appreciate being on the podcast, first one. So
That's
excited.
awesome.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did great. Really good conversation. Appreciate your time.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Just that easy.
Yeah.
Just like that. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Really good. Really
Appreciate
good.
it, guys.
Good stuff. Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Make sure you grab some stuff here. Then we'll connect on LinkedIn.
All right.
And then once we get this released, it'll probably be a couple weeks. We'll make sure we tag you and tag your company and stuff. And
All right, sweet, man.
Yeah.
How long are y'all going to be?